so I know that we're a couple days in already, but you know how if you're out in the wilderness and if you see or hear an animal or something, you're supposed to make a loud noise and appear bigger so you seem like you're more of a threat? That's me to 2022. Don't come in here with no mess. 2021 already took Betty from us. Got some Omo coming around trying to mess with people. I'm tired. And I just want to ease into the new year. Let's get into it. Take 33. What's good, peacemakers? Welcome back to another episode of the Piece4PeaceCrafting Podcast. I'm Michael, and this is my yarny corner of the YouTube universe. If you would like to follow me on other social medias, you can do so on Instagram at Piece4PeaceCrafting, and on Ravelry as Piece4PeaceCraft. And if you're into music, you can check out the collaborative playlist we have over on Spotify at Piece4PeaceCrafting Podcast Playlists on Spotify. I think that's it. Happy New Year, everyone. So glad we are here sharing this time together. I hope everyone is well. Hope you got through the winter holidays whenever they started for you and ended for you, let's be honest. Okay, hope you felt those virtual hugs coming to you from the last episode. And yeah, I hope that we can all calmly ease into 2022. Things have been a little bit topsy-turvy for me. I'm coming to you all just a little over a week from my last episode. I was hoping to put something out over the weekend. So it's Tuesday, which is the 4th of January. But that just didn't happen. So after my last episode, a little bit of what I've been up to. We had a bunch of our shows get canceled, so we abruptly stopped and had to, get stuff out of the theater because we weren't going to go back for the end of our shows, which was kind of a bummer, but ended up being a slight blessing. My roommates and I had planned a trip, which was odd for me because I haven't really been going anywhere. I literally haven't gone anywhere. And so we got to exchange our ticket and leave a couple days early, which was really dope. So yeah, I got to spend a little bit of time in the Bay. If you follow me on Instagram, I put up a little thing about yarn shops and stuff that were in the San Francisco Bay Area, and you all came through. Where we were, at my roomie's parents' house, is sort of off and not really around anything, so I didn't get to hit up much because we were still we were trying to be safe and we really didn't want to be around people, which was totally fine. It was like being at home, but in green everything. It was really rainy there, so the weather was a little bit similar when we left. It was in the 40s there, which I can totally do for winter. That sounds awesome to me. So everything was really lush. The trees were looking beautiful. Lots of hiking, hanging out. They have goats, so taking them for walks just around on the mountainside, which was really awesome. Hadn't done that in a while. And there were wild turkeys. Oh my gosh. I feel like I have to do just a little photo collage about my time there. There were wild turkeys that just showed up in the mornings. I guess they are around a lot. So there was bird seed and we fed them, which was really cool. And taking the goats on walks and getting to go to the beach, not be in the water, but just like see it, which was really cool. Like going to see the ocean is nice. Like I live on a Great Lake, so that's cool, but like going to see the ocean is like, that's pretty dope. Yeah, so we had a great time, got back on New Year's Day, and yeah, trying to get back to the grind of it all. You know, I feel like sometimes the end of the year to the start of the year is very much like Cinderella, in a sense of like, it's just like go, go, go. We've been to the ball. We're having a grand time. And then as soon as the clock strikes midnight and, you know, you may have to go to work again soon, we're running through the house or running through the fields. Our beautiful gowns are turning back into rags. And it is act 2 of the ballet, back to reality. So back to reality we go. I hope you all have been well. I have a few things to share with you all today. I have a couple finished objects and a couple maybe new cast-ons. Whoops. So yeah, let's get into it. First, can we talk about this mug? Oh, the glare from the window. My roommates got this for me for Christmas because I love Prince. And it's a Prince mug with purple rain. I live. So, 2 things that I finished. 2 FOs. They're both the same. One of them I don't have a picture of, so I'm a little bit sad about it, but I will get a photo and show it in the next episode. So, last time I was showing you all the... now I can't think of the name of the pattern, and I literally made 2 of them. Oh, the Love Note sweater by Tin Can Knits that I was knitting for my roommate for Christmas. And I was knitting that out of this capretta from KnitPicks and the Aloft, which is their mohair. And the capretta was in Magnolia Heather, and the Aloft was in their Sydney Hand Painted. So I used these 2 together. I did end up taking 2 of the balls of the mohair to try to get rid of some of the striping. I'll put a photo here of what it looks like finished. Since we did Christmas early because we changed our flight and we're going to be leaving out sooner, I didn't want to carry too much with me. So I let her pick the sleeve length and finished it right before we left, and then sewed up the ends once we got to where we were going. Oh no, I did everything before we left. What am I talking about? That's not true. I sewed in the ends once we got there. I blocked it before we left, sewed in the ends once we got there. And it was a hit. She loved it. She was like super surprised. She was like, how did you do this? We're like always together. And I'm like, I know, I had to be very sneaky about it. And yeah, I was really happy with the way that it turned out. She really loves it. So 2 thumbs up for me. The second thing that I finished was also another Love Note, oddly enough. So when we were in Cali, my roommate's mom, who I made the fantastic shawl for, I was just like working on something, and she pulled out a bunch of like yarn and knitting needles, and she was like, I haven't knit in 11 years. Like, I'm feeling a little bit inspired. Like, just refresh my memory how to do stuff. Said, okay, cool. This is exciting. We like sat down and we're hanging out for a while while people were doing things around the house. It was really nice. And I noticed that she'd had like a bunch of this yarn that she showed me. A bunch of this yarn that she showed me. It's like blue sky fibers and this alpaca silk. And she really liked the Love Note that I made for my roommate. And I was like, not really jokingly, was like, oh, what if I make you one out of all of this? Like, you have the yardage for it. It would be pretty easy. I could try to finish it before I leave. I don't know why I do these things to myself. So, I cast on Christmas Day. She was like, amazing, go for it. Cast on Christmas Day. and 5 days later had another love note blocked, and she was wearing it for New Year's Eve. I wish I had a photo of it, but like just in the craziness of it all, I totally forgot to snap one. So my roommate's supposed to be taking one for me because they're still there. Excuse me. And I'll be sure to pop it in the next episode just to show you all. It was really crazy. I can't believe I did it. It was the fastest I've ever made anything. Granted, it was also short sleeve, but yeah, it was pretty hot. It was pretty hot, and she loved it. Before I go on to things that I have started working on, while I was there, I'm gonna do a little bit of like acquisition-y stuff. We did go to Dharma Trading Company. Yeah, Dharma Trading Company. And I picked up we were gonna do some tie-dyeing on New Year's Eve. And so while we were there, I picked up a sock blank, which I also don't have because I had to leave it there so that they could like wash it and stuff since I left out really early the next day. And I used the sock blank, like I tied it up in a bunch of different places, and while people were dyeing stuff, if there were spills and stuff, we used it as the sort of rag to like clean up with. I thought that might be fun. I never dyed a sock blank before, never even used one before, so I was like, oh, I'll just do this. So I'm really excited to see how that turns out. Another thing I will show you all in the next episode. I also snagged, please don't look at this box. I don't know what United was doing with my bag, but this box is busted now. But I got some Earth. It's the unique sock. Sorry, the glare. And these are self-striping. Here's what they will look like, hopefully. I thought this was really dope. I'd seen other people use this, and while we were at Dharma, I was like, oh, I haven't seen these where I am, or at least the stores that I've been to at some point in the pandemic. And it's 75-25 extra fine superwash merino and 25 nylon, and it's about 220 yards in each. So these definitely will be socks for myself. At some point. Yeah, I'm super excited to try this. Especially now that I know how to do toe-up socks, I feel like I can get kind of the most bang for my buck out of these. I might just do them as long as they go, just so I can get all the colors in, because that would be really fun. Lastly, I got to meet up with one of my friends who I get together with during our knit nights, like virtual knit nights, and they came to meet us because they lived really close to where we were, and we got to sit and chit chat and talk for a little bit, and we ended up going, all of us, to a thrift store together, and they bought me this mug because I thought it was absolutely hilarious, and I love mugs. So here it is. Can you guess what it says? Because I'm crying. It says, my puns are koala tea. That is so stupid. I love it so much. I thought this was a riot. They were like, you have to have it. And I love koalas, so it makes sense. Super excited to be using this mug soon. We have no space in our cupboard for more mugs, and yet here we are. I keep acquiring them. My roomies keep getting them. It's just like, a mug is so nice. Honestly, to drink anything out of. Water, coffee, tea, wine, cereal. Like, it has a handle. You just scoop. It's amazing. Okay, shall we get into some things that I've cast on? All right. So first up, I had this yarn in my stash for a little bit. I wouldn't say a long time, but a little bit. And at one point, or at some point, I was like, I need a neon, just like bright colored shawl. I don't know why. I just thought that I did. And so, actually, let me do these because they're already here. All right, so this is yarn from Blue Fiber Company. You might want to put some sunglasses on. What? So these are both from Blue Fiber Company, and they are on, one second. This is the merino cashmere base, so it's 80/20 merino and cashmere, and it's 437 yards in each. This color, the blue, is called Epic, and it is quite epic. It's absolutely gorgeous. And this highlighter is called Shidori. Love, 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 love. So maybe he was having a sale. I don't really remember. All I knew is I loved the colors when I saw them in the Etsy shop, and was like, I'm gonna buy these, and at some point there'll be something. So for our plane right out there, oh my gosh, the needles are all twisted up, which was Christmas Eve. We had our flight. I was like, I'm going to just put this in my backpack that I was carrying on the plane and see how far I get in the pattern. So I'm doing the Starflake shawl by Stephen West, and it was the 2019 Mystery No Long. And that was before I knew that those were a thing. Yeah. But I saw like the photos of it popping up, and I was like, oh, this seems really cool, like whatever. So I decided to cast it on. Again, keep your sunglasses on. Here's where I am so far. What? You all, this is so obnoxious. I love it. So on the plane, it starts here with these little, what are those, parallelograms? And on the plane, I got almost done with just the parallelograms. I think I was halfway through the last one when it was time for us to get off. And then once we got to where we were going, I finished up that one. And then just in the evenings when I wasn't working on that love note, like before I went to bed, I'd put a couple rows onto this little chevron section. So because sorry, I'm making sure I'm not dropping stitches as I'm like flailing it around. Because the yarn is merino and cashmere, it is chef's kiss to work with. And I just like how obnoxious it is. Like, it's so bright, and I feel like it's gonna be great to wear here in Chicago, especially during the winter, because while we do get some sunny days, it is kind of gray and brown and everything's dead. So, because it's winter, which was also a shock to me coming back, leaving 40 degrees, which doesn't seem like it's really warm, but coming back to it being a snowstorm, quotations, and like in the 20s. And I was looking at the weather, and this week it's supposed to be in the single digits. So this is really great. Finished the little star, doing the chevrons. I have one more of this highlightery color to go in this section, and then I'll be on to, there's a big brioche section that comes next. So for me, one of the cool things about working on this shawl is that in like early 2020, like beginning of the pandemic, I wanted to teach myself brioche, and so I cast on the Starflake, which is the blanket version of this. Don't ask me why. I had some scraps. I wanted to get rid of them. I wasn't leaving the house. And so I taught myself brioche. I figured it was a really big project. I didn't have anything to do, and it would give me good practice. So as I'm going through this shawl version, granted it's a different weight of yarn, it's nice because I sort of know like what's going on already. You know what I mean? It's really great. I'm excited to get more work done on it. My poor Kinship was sort of side-eyeing me because I brought that along with me as well, and I didn't touch it the whole time. But that's okay. Now I can go back and forth between the two, now that I'm back, and yeah, just make some headway on that. All right, the second thing that I cast on, which was another like, let's cast this on the plane, is the Single Malt sweater by Maxim Cyr. For both of those, well, one I've already done it, but I'll put a photo of it here because I don't, so like when I'm using the printer, I usually don't print out the first page with like the nice photo of whatever it is, like the item that I'm making, because like that's a lot of ink. I just need the pattern. So I'll put a picture of that here in case you haven't seen it. It's a beautiful raglan sweater, and I was at like Aunt Joanne's one time, and I just made the, what was the name of that sweater? The Horatio sweater by Jean-Philippe Cliche, and in the Fisherman's Wool by Lion Brand. And I was at Aunt Joanne's, I saw that there was some on sale, and I thought this was the same color. So this is a worsted weight, and it's in the color Nature's Brown. And this is 227 grams and 468 yards per thing. And I thought this was the same color as the other sweater that I made. And I was like, oh, I'll just get 3 of these because I have some of this at home, and that should probably be enough. And it was all they had, and I didn't want to like run out, you know what I mean? Even though I checked the yardage and things like that, I was like, oh, I think I have one at home. Let me just get 3. It was not the same color, which actually, now that I think about it, I'm really happy with, just because. So I clearly enjoyed using that yarn before, and was like, oh, this would look great in that sweater. So I cast this one on my flight back. So that was New Year's Day. And I got halfway through the beginning portion of it, so the increases. And then like yesterday or something, I sat down and I just finished it. So I'm 3 rows away actually from where, it's gonna be hard to see because it's kind of on smallish needles because that's all I had with me. I'm 3 rows away from splitting for the sleeves. So I know, it's crazy. I don't know what's, I don't think I'm fast, but people are telling me I'm fast. And so I'm like, yeah, I guess 2 days working on it and you're splitting at the sleeves is kind of quick. So it has this beautiful texture all throughout. And the sleeves, like I know the sweater is beautiful because of its like overall, like the texture that's overall. But as I was getting further along, I realized that I love a raglan sweater that has like a dope, like the shaping makes like just like a dope pattern to it. So here's where the raglan is, here and here. I just love the way that it looks set against, the lighting's kind of terrible. The way that it looks against the rest of the texture of the pattern. I think it looks really pretty. So yeah, that's where I am on that. I'm using the needles that it called for. I will be honest, I'm a big fan of swatching, and don't tell anyone, but I didn't swatch for this one. I just made a sweater using the same yarn and the same needle size. I'm almost like, I'm 98% sure that that's why I was like, oh, I just won't swatch. Then I can just like do it while I'm on the plane and not worry about it. And I think it's gonna be fine. Like I went up a size than I normally would want to make because I thought, oh, maybe the texture might bring it in just a little bit. And I like a sweater to be a little bit more roomy. You can wear something underneath it. You don't have to worry about it being too tight, all that jazz. So I think this is going to be pretty cool. I'm going to try this time, since normally I would just continue on, do the body, and then do the sleeves. I think for this one, I'm going to separate for sleeves, do about an inch of the body, or like, yeah, about an inch of the body, and then put the body on hold, bang out the sleeves first, and then get into the body portion of it. Why not mix it up? Yeah, good times. So that's that. I'm really excited. I think for me this year, I don't really do resolutions because I think it's silly for me. Let's put it that way. But what I would like to, and I think I've talked about this before, like what I'd like to do. And I think what I'd like to do this year is try to make a few more sweaters. I made a couple last year, literally 2 within the last week. Oh no, that's not true. 1 within the last week of the year. But I'd like to try to do a couple more sweaters this year, just because I kind of want to up my sock game. Not like in a way of like, what's her name? Lisa from Knit All the Yarn. She's like 80,000 pair in a year. Bravo. Shout out to you. I am inspired. I would like 12. 1 a month. And I think I could do that. Now, I'm not saying that that's going to happen, but I do think that I could do that. So we'll see. Other than that, like, what are you all, like, what would you like to this year? You would like to what? Actually, you know what? I'm going to put that in the Ravelry group. There's a Ravelry group. If you're not a member of it, go and join it. You can also comment down below too. But I'll put up a thing in there like, what would you like to do this year? And let's just share in each other's, let's inspire each other to get some things done. New techniques. I would like to do this. Maybe you want to knit a blanket for the first time. Let's do it. Calmly entering the new year with like good intentions. So this is really a short episode. That's all the knitting content I have for you all this time. I just wanted to pop on and say hello and put out something at the beginning of the year, since I was technically supposed to over the weekend. And hopefully now that the winter holidays are past us and it's the start of a new year, I can get back to every 2 weeks. So that's what we're going to push for. So the next episode will come out in 2 weeks from Sunday, so less than 2 weeks, just to get me back on track. And yeah, I think that should work for me. I know you all are like, whenever you put them out, it's cool. Like, don't worry about it, don't stress. And I appreciate it and thank you for that. Thanks for hanging out for the past year. 2021 was like a full year of podcasting for me. So yeah, I'm looking forward to spending some time with y'all in 2022. Before I go, obviously we have to have a little music rec for the start of the year. So for me, I was doing a little bit of walking around when I got back and just had some music on shuffle, and this James Blake cover of The First Time Ever I Saw Your Face came on, and I was like, oh right, this album's so good. So I went and I listened to his cover album, which then led me to go and listen to Roberta Flack's version. And I was like, oh right, this album is amazing too. She is a boss. So my rec this week is Roberta Flack's First Take. It's from 1968, I want to say. It's really chill. A lot of really beautiful songs on it. And it's just like her at a piano with like a little band. Sort of jazzy inspired. So I thought this would be a nice way to ease us in to the year. My recommendations off of this album would be Compared to What? Hey, That's No Way to Say Goodbye. Trying Times, because we're living in them now. And obviously the first time ever I saw your face, which was the reason I wanted to recommend this album anyway. So those 4, compared to what? Hey, That's No Way to Say Goodbye, Trying Times, and the first time ever I saw your face. Again, that's Roberta Flack's first take album. So good. I think that's it for me. Yeah. Thanks so much for watching. If you want to, you can do all that fun YouTube-y stuff, like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell if you would like to know when I have new episodes coming up. And yeah, I'm really excited for this year. Lots of making to be had. I have a bunch of stuff that I would like to tackle. Right, and I'm sure you all do too. So let's enjoy some of that knitting time. If it's cold where you are, like, bundle up, pull out those knits. And if it's hot where you are, bless you. Like, ow, I just ran into this. Bless you, I'm jealous. And until I see you next time, make a piece, spread some peace. Peace.